Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Counsel General, would you explain to us whether you have a committee that sends you a request or whether you have many members who are sending a request?
We receive requests from sometimes from members, but the requests we have been discussing today have come from the committee, the majority of the committee.
And you do have members who will ask for information as well?
That does sometimes occur, yes.
And have you tried as best as you can with the resources you have, and they are many, I confess, to satiate the desires of the members of the committee who are asking for information?
We are very committed to providing the committee with the information that it needs. We respect the committee's oversight priorities and oversight interests, and I am really proud of my staff who have worked tirelessly to respond to the committee's and requests.
Let me move to another subject, and if time permits, I'll come back to this. But in 2003, investors and banks with $136 trillion in assets under management have requested thousands of companies to disclose climate-related information for their investing and financing decisions. I have colleagues, my Republican colleagues, many, claim that climate-related information is not material to investors. Why is disclosure of climate-related information material to investors, Madam Counsel General?
So our disclosure rules at the SEC are aimed at providing investors with the information that they need to make informed investment and voting decisions. That information, it can change over time. It often does. It relates to developments in the market, to risks that companies are facing and our registrants are facing. And as we have heard from investors, many companies are providing information about climate-related risks, but we don't currently have that information in a comparable form that is useful to investors. That's what we've heard from investors. And climate-related risk can be just as important to businesses, to the nature and health of the business, as other things we might traditionally think about, like physical assets or material contracts. And the climate-related risk disclosure proposal that's out there walks through in detail the reasons why the Commission voted the proposal and believes that the disclosures are necessary to the protection of investors and the public interest.
Is it safe to say that it's about investor protection, Madam Counsel General?
It is about investor protection. That is a core piece of our mission and a core piece of our disclosure requirements.
And to this end, do you make every effort to acquire this intelligence so that you can share it with these investors who are going to suffer as a result of climate change, whether my colleagues believe that it exists or not?
So we have received, as I mentioned earlier in my testimony, a record number of comments from members of the investing public, issuers, other interested members of the public on our climate rule, and we are taking all of those comments into account as we think about, and the staff prepares recommendations for the Commission on how to move forward with any finalization of the climate rule.
Earlier, when you gave your testimony, you indicated that there was some large number of documents. Would you repeat that number for the record, please?
So in response to this committee's request to the Commission, my staff have collected 3.3 million documents, and as I mentioned earlier, that's not pages of documents, that's 3.3 million documents.
I would leave you with, this is not oversight, this is overreach run amok. Thank you. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.